Hello everybody, welcome to Rewrite Your Reality with Risa. I am your host, and today I'm going to talk about two questions that came to my channel and my Facebook group, which was about self-sabotage and about perfect seeing. I thought they were really good to segue into each other. So, self-sabotage, what does this actually mean? These are these thoughts and feelings that come up when you're chosen a new identity and you think that you can't stay in it, so you end up doing stuff or feeling as if you need to overcome, or you throw a wrench into your own beingness and you basically torpedo whatever it is you think you are manifesting, right? That kind of thing. And how do we feel this stuff? We feel it as pain in our gut, in our chest, in our inner back, in our lower back, our inner being, wherever this pain is, right? My follower, basically said he feels that defeatedness, and he starts to do stuff to overcome that defeatedness, and it feels good for a moment, but then he always goes back to feeling defeated. He always goes back to that pain, and then he starts to do this loop all over again. So let's pull ourselves back and realize what's actually going on. He's creating the reality where he is in and experiencing a looping identity of I feel pain, I try to feel better. While I'm feeling better, I don't want to feel that pain. I end up in the pain again. I try to feel better. That's your beingness. That whole thing is your beingness. That whole thing is the identity of who you are being. Repeatedly in pain, overcoming it, cycling it. You're not just being I am awareness, where I am experiencing a certain version of myself that's no longer my choice, and you're recreating it over and over and over. You see, that pain that you're feeling is literally new every single time. It's not the old pain. And what do we end up doing? When we feel that pain, we start to go right back into our childhood for some reason, right? It makes sense. It has to come from somewhere, so we start to go backwards in time because it must have come from there. It couldn't have come from forward. But so quite often we feel that pain about something that could happen. So it does actually come from forward as well. Right? But we try to make sense of it. Say, but that forward thing hasn't happened yet, so I'm only feeling that way. But I'm feeling that way because it reminds me of something that happened there. And you see, now you're creating both of that here because it's only here. Right? Your childhood doesn't exist. Sorry, your childhood does not actually exist. You have photos, you have memories, you have this, you have that, but you are a source, you have those things within you already. When you were experiencing yourself as one, you existed as this version of yourself right now. It just existed. So your source strung together frames of reality that gave you the experience of growing up until you are right here. But they all exist simultaneously. That's why this concept of time travel can even work. If time didn't exist all in one place, you couldn't actually travel through time because it wouldn't make sense. The future has to actually exist now for time traveling to actually go that way and come back. And if you go to quantum mechanics a little bit, you can see that all things happen simultaneously. I'm not going to explain all that now, but whatever. Right? Not that I know it offhand. Anyway, so what does he end up doing? He starts doing push-ups. He starts doing things. He starts doing push-ups and physical activity to try and feel better. What's that doing? It's cementing the loop, right? He's playing the loop out. Basically, I feel bad, I'll do something to feel good. I feel good, but now I'm anticipating feeling bad. Now I feel bad again, so I'm going to do something to feel good. Full circle. There we go, right? And it's mostly because you identify with being that specific version of yourself that you are creating right now, because all time exists right now. You don't have to go back to a non-existent childhood to fix it. It's staying there forever. That version of you that you consider broken, which isn't broken, just exists in that way, literally exists right now as that version of yourself. You can't change it. It's like trying to change a photograph after it comes into your awareness. You say, oh no, but you can edit it. No, you can't. You can't edit the actual photograph in your mind. The one in your imagination will always exist as that photograph. You can change it, burn it, tear it, whatever. The one in your mind as the one that you saw originally, that one stays there. All the other versions, torn, changed, edited, whatever, those also exist as those individual frames of reality, and how source moves you from one to the other is to a story of tearing, changing, editing, whatever. But each of them exist simultaneously with each other, and how we experience each one is through time and space as a story. That's it, right? So you're calling forth your childhood right now, but how are you calling it forth? So you know what? I'm going to identify with the version of myself that had a childhood that I prefer. And even if I feel this pain right now, even if I feel this old story, previous story, this unconscious story that I was telling myself, I'm not going to identify with it anymore. I'm going to feel it through and let it go. I'm going to feel it through and let it go again and again and again and again. No matter how many times I'm going to let it go by feeling it through fully, not fearing it. And then I'm going to go and exercise because I like exercising. Then I'm going to do push-ups because I like doing push-ups, not because I need to fix something. Because I am everything right now, and push-ups are fun. If you like that, right? I do. So, when you keep your awareness on this broken version of yourself, that's literally what you're doing. You are saying, I am broken, I need to fix, or I am fixing myself because I used to be broken. But now you're still repeating the cycle because your focus creates reality. And if your focus is on a broken version of yourself, that's all you will experience right now, right here. That's it. Right? If you are staring at this, if you are focused on it, and I don't mean, when I say your awareness, I don't mean your eyes, but for the moment, if you are staring at this, and you are staring at it, and you are thinking about, it must change to something else, it must change to something else, it must change to something else. You're not. You focus on this because Source doesn't technically speak English. Right? It just knows what you are focused on, how you're focused on it. You're focused on this, but you're thinking, but you're focused on, you're looking at that, right? But you focused on this because you want that to change into that. But you don't. What you have to understand is that they're separate things, right? Even if they look similar, they are separate versions of yourself. There is a version of me holding this. There is a version of me holding that. There is a version of me holding these. They're all separate identities. Even if I'm consciously experiencing it one after the other, they all just exist right now. You see, if I let them go, I have to experience picking up one and then the other, right? That's how Soul does it. But I know I exist holding both of these, and they're both different. Even if I change this one to that Y in existence always stays that way. Even if I edit it to that one, to the R, it's still that Y in your imagination. That's why your imagination is true, because your imagination is the pristine version of that frame of reality. Always, it will not change that frame. When you call for another one, and even if you experience the Y changing to an R, it's you doing that, shifting your perspective to that, or from that to that, whatever. So it's always staying the same. That's where this perfect seeing comes in. Perfect seeing comes in to know that no matter what you are looking at yourself. You're looking at Source. You're looking at Source as Source. You're looking at reality as reality, because you are the awareness that you are reality, looking at the reality that you are now aware of. You are the awareness of reality, looking at what you are now currently being aware of. But 3D reality has no story attached to it. When you call forth an imaginational scene, now you are attaching a story to the scene, and that's what must unfold as your physical experience of reality, if it is your choice. Because you're choosing to say, no, this is who I am now. I am this version of myself in this relationship. I am this version of myself driving that car. I am this version of myself with this much money in my bank account. I am this version of myself that is owning this business in the way that I own it, etc., whatever, right? Perfect seeing. And when you're sitting at the dinner table with your family, and it can feel very overwhelming, and thoughts are flying all over the show, what happens? We start to think, oh no, we're not though. I'm feeling overwhelmed by thoughts and this and that, and I can't manifest my dream life because I can't even manifest peace and tranquility in my own house. None of the stuff matters, because it's just perfect unfolding of Source moving itself through everything and everyone through your own awareness, right? Remember, you are not the physical being experiencing the argument. You are the source behind it. So if you are the source behind it, and the argument itself in your experiencing has no meaning, it must be unfolding how you say. So how do you say it's unfolding? Because my follower, subscriber, said it's saving unfavorably. But here's the question: how do you know if something is unfolding unfavorably? You say, no, but I have evidence that it looked like this before, and then that happened. Okay, but this is not that situation. This is brand new, how do you know how it's unfolding? You are creating this idea over and over again. Why don't you assume it's unfolding perfectly? Because it must be. Because I know that I am reality now. I know that it must be unfolding perfectly, so I'm just going to allow it to happen. I'm not going to change it, fix it, do anything about it. If I feel bad, if I feel thoughts about it, that's okay, because it's part of the unfolding experience of me experiencing reality. So even though I am experiencing that version of reality, I'm going to experience it as reality and say that no matter what I am experiencing, it's unfolding into my desired end, regardless where I am experiencing a happy, wonderful, tranquil family. That's perfect seeing, because to know that even the argument and everyone taking part in the argument, including myself, and the table and chairs and the walls, it's literally all source experiencing itself, unfolding as per your decision of who and what you are. That's it. That's perfect seeing. That's the practice. That is the practice of how you perfectly see, by seeing yourself as source and everyone else in it. And if everyone else in your reality, that same source manifesting, unfolding as a manifestation of who and what you say you are. That's it. That's perfect practice. That's perfect seeing, and that's perfect you being, in my opinion anyway, right? So this is Rewrite Your Reality with Reese. I am your host. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for the following, love, and thank you for the following, the subscribing, the love, truly, the liking, and sharing, etc. Thank you for joining my Facebook group. It's available if you want to join. TikTok page, again, available if you want to see other content there, different takes on these same ideas. That being said, you can email me if you want to get to if you want to have personal questions answered, things like that. Love and light, and I will see you all in the next one.